Hello and welcome to a special Big Water Tech interview session. I'm your host, Jessica Rakowitz. I am in charge of marketing operations and leadership at Big Water Tech. And today we are celebrating International Women's Day with a spotlight on one of our very own tech trailblazers, Jennifer Shubow, a standout outside sales representative here at Big Water Tech. In this empowering interview, Jennifer takes us through her incredible journey from the culinary arts to making a significant impact in the tech industry. We'll dive into how her unique path has shaped her approach to tech sales, her experience as a woman in a traditionally male-dominated field, and her insights on the evolving role of women in technology. Jennifer's story is a testament to the endless possibilities and opportunities in tech for women from all walks of life. She's not only a champion in sales, focusing on solutions like low-voltage cabling and CCTV, but also a beacon of inspiration, encouraging more women to explore and thrive in the tech world, including myself. She's an inspiration to me. Join us today as we celebrate Jennifer's achievements and delve into a conversation filled with motivation, challenges, triumphs, and advice for aspiring women in tech. Let's get inspired and learn from Jennifer's experience on this special day dedicated to women worldwide.
I got too much love for me. Hello again.
Hello. All right.
So you have some questions for me?
I do. So I first want to start out. I know that I know your story, but will you, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about your journey into the tech industry? I know it started with baking.
Yeah, it started completely by accident, actually. I had been working as a chef, fine dining, for a number of years. I've gone to culinary school out in Oregon after finishing up a bachelor's degree in liberal arts at University of Michigan. And after my husband and I got married and moved back to Michigan, I was looking for more family time, and working as a fine dining chef was not giving it to me. While I was between jobs, my father, who at the time was the sole owner of a company called Ultracom, said, "Come work for me for a little while you figure out your next step." I ended up sticking there. I was always a little bit of a nerd, but I was definitely not a technophile. And I pretty much learned everything I know about the industry by working in the business. I just celebrated 20 years with the company. Ultracom merged with another company called Intelisys back in the late aughts and came out of it to become Big Water Tech with a rebrand in 2010. Which I can't believe is, 14 years ago already. I had already been on the sales team at that time and have been selling technology ever since. And I love learning about new technology as it comes out. So much has changed in the last 20 years since I began in this industry, and it always keeps me on my toes.
That's awesome. Could you describe your current role at Big Water Tech and the primary responsibilities you handle?
Absolutely. I am an outside salesperson. My primary responsibility is finding new clients, keeping existing clients happy, and selling as much as possible. I sell all the things that Big Water Technology offers to clients. I do low voltage surveys with our low voltage project manager, and together we quote and sell low voltage cable projects, including fiber optic cables. I help gather information and work with our carrier services team to put together proposals and sell new carrier services for our clients. I'm a hosted voice and relocation specialist, so I help a lot of clients with moving business or opening additional locations, as well as putting together multi-site hosted voice solutions. I also do the camera systems. I'm pretty much the only one at Big Water these days that works in, quote, CCTV solutions. And then a lot of other things that probably shouldn't take as much time as they do, but really it's all about keeping our clients happy and satisfied, making sure that if they have questions, those questions are getting answered in a timely fashion, and that everything with all their technology flows smoothly. And they know, my clients especially, know they can come to me anytime they have a question, and I'll be responsive and get them the answer.
Wonderful. Another question about challenges and triumphs. In your experience as a sales professional in tech, what have been some of your biggest challenges you faced, and how did you overcome them?
Early on, it was, I think, somewhat of, I'll tell you something that I first took to be a challenge, and I've turned it into an opportunity. So early on, I found that as a woman selling technology and with a kind of consultative sales kind of presentation, I was one of the only ones out there. And I used to take it as a detriment where, I'd be the only woman providing a presentation and a proposal, sometimes in a room with 6 or 7 other guys that were selling technology. And I used to think that was a bad thing, but I've come to use it as a strength. And I actually work with a lot of female business owners who don't want to talk to a guy when they have a technology problem, and a lot of female office managers and admins and facilities managers that really prefer to work woman to woman. So it's something that
right. Even today, there can be a lot of prejudice and just like unknown just in the way someone's talking to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know even like things like going to buy a car. I'm going to seek out a female salesperson because I feel like they're not going to talk down to me or think I know less just because I'm a woman. I find that in technology and in the world of technology, being female and being one of the few women, at least in Metro Detroit, that do what I do, it's really a benefit.
That's awesome. So speaking about women in tech, as a woman in a tech-oriented field, what is your take on the gender gap in the industry? How do you think we can encourage more women to pursue careers in tech?
That's a good one. I think that the best way to help women pursue careers in tech is to make it known that working in technology doesn't require you necessarily to be good in math and science. I'm a perfect example of that. I'm not great at math and science. I never was in school. I was definitely focused on literature and the arts. But I've been able to successfully sell technology because knowing how to communicate is what sales is all about. So you can be in a tech-related industry without necessarily having to be that geek or that nerd or that programmer. There's so many other ways to be involved in technology as a woman, even if you're not into the hard sciences. If you are, more power to you. But I think a lot of times that the other roles in technology, the user experience roles, the marketing roles, all of those things, we need women in the industry because women are at least 50% of the user base for computers, if not more.
Right. Absolutely. And I feel that as well, being a woman who does marketing in tech. And I've worked at other tech companies, and I love the industry, and but I'm not the backroom coder, and I'm never going to be, and that's okay.
Yep. And neither am I, and I don't want to be that. And I know there's women out there that do want to be that, and that's great. Supporting STEM is wonderful, but I think I think we've lost some focus on the arts part of education, on music education, on those other things that help us develop as human beings and help us develop those soft skills that allow good communications in any industry.
And that almost tech touches every aspect of our lives at this point. It would be ridiculous to think that art isn't related to tech.
Exactly. And literature. The ChatGPT is redefining what writing means right now. And what we really need a lot more of is AI editors. the people who, it's great that you can use AI to generate text, but someone still has to make sense of that text and edit that text and put that text into context.
Right. This has been a thing that's come up in my industry a lot. People are, when ChatGPT first came out, people were like, oh, is it going to replace copywriters' jobs? No, absolutely not. And most people knew that. Some people were asking, right? But what it's turned into is now we have a new job, right? It'll spit out some text. We have to read through that, make sure it makes sense, add in the right things. It doesn't do the whole job for you, and it's never going to. But knowing how to work with it, it just makes new and slightly different jobs. It just changes things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So this one is about tech evolution and adaptation. How have you seen the tech industry evolve since you started your career, and how have you adapted to these changes?
I've seen the tech industry evolve a lot in 20 years. I think the biggest evolution, it's the big Oz, AAS, as a service. So when I first started in this industry, everybody wanted to buy their things. I want to buy my computers. I want to buy my phone system. I want to buy my software. I want to buy my hardware, sometimes lease to own. But the goal was ownership of one's technology. Today, in 2024, nobody wants to own anything. It's as a service. They want the newest device every 3 years. They want software that's going to self-upgrade. Everything is cloud-based. Everything is subscription-based. You don't buy a CD anymore to load a year of antivirus. It's all done in the cloud via subscription. So the move from the ownership model to the subscription model is probably the biggest difference that I've seen. We've seen it throughout the tech industry. It's not just business technology. Our media has changed dramatically, except for collectors of vinyl. You don't buy CDs and cassette tapes anymore for music. You stream it online. You may own
I have a
through subscription. That's right. You've got your Spotify or your Apple Music or your Pandora subscription, and the same with television. Cable TV is going by the wayside in favor of other streaming subscription services that allows you to tailor your user experience exactly what you want it to be. So that's definitely the biggest change I've seen.
That is a huge one, and I think we've seen it in different industries, like in the world in general. We've seen it all over.
I just bought my dog a subscription to a grooming service.
Oh, that's great.
So, yes, they're doing it for everything. It's a monthly package. It's cheaper if you sign up for the subscription, and once a month we have a standing appointment to bring the dog to the groomer.
Yeah, I used to have, when I had a car wash subscription.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything is moved to a subscription model. All right. So this one is about personal motivation and philosophy. What drives you in your career? Do you have a personal philosophy or mantra that guides your professional approach?
Yes. So I am actually going to harken back to something I told you earlier, which was that I spent many years working for the Ritz-Carlton Corporation. And one thing that anyone who's ever had an experience with Ritz-Carlton knows is that they are tops when it comes to customer service and really providing a true white glove experience for all of their customers. And that's something I've taken with me into every other job I've ever had since then. And of course, with Big Water Technology, is that's really pre-anticipating your client's needs, getting in front of the problems and providing solutions before your clients maybe even realized they had a problem, and then being able to follow through with that same attention to detail throughout the sales process, the installation process, and then the follow-up process. I'm a strong advocate for my clients and making sure that all of their expectations, even those they didn't even realize they might have had, are met by the time the project's done.
That's awesome. And I have personally witnessed you going to bat for your clients and making sure that they get everything that they need.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's important, and that's why they're loyal to me, and that's why they keep coming back, and that's why they refer their friends and family to me. So it's definitely that kind of customer service. And, of course, it's not just me. It's the whole Big Water team that's involved in this, making sure that our clients are happy. But the attention to detail that our team offers to clients and that truly white glove service is really, I think, what sets us apart and what sets me apart as a sales team member, as a technical salesperson.
Right. Okay. A couple more here. And just to go back to when we were talking about AI, ChatGPT helped me write these questions.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think they were pretty good. I went through them before and I liked them, so I figured I would use them. Can you share a memorable success story from your time at Big Water Tech that particularly stands out?
There's so many to choose from. I'm just sure where to begin. One of my favorite account success stories, I could say, from the past couple of years is we were able to help senior living cooperative housing communities all across the United States improve the common area Wi-Fi in all of their buildings. So they actually got some HUD grants, some Housing and Urban Development, to improve the technology in their facilities, and we were lucky to be chosen as the partner to help them with this. So we designed whole building Wi-Fi solutions for about 30 high-rise subsidized senior apartment buildings in Maryland, Michigan, and California. And everybody's up and running. Everybody has functional Wi-Fi. We've improved their infrastructure. And one IT team member, if they choose from their home office here in Metro Detroit, can monitor the whole network.
That's awesome.
It's very cool.
Bet that just between the residents and the employees, you have saved so many people so many headaches every day.
And they now have a single point of contact, and that lead IT team member with that business organization isn't the one getting all the calls. Because because they chose us to be a partner, they can call us. We can take care of it, and we know when to bring that IT team member from their own organization into the mix if it's something beyond what we can easily take care of for them. So It's been a great relationship, and it feels good working with not-for-profit organizations.
Definitely, and I know you work with a few different not-for-profits, so I was expecting that you would bring up one of them with that question. So this one is about future vision. What future developments in tech are you most excited about? How do you see these impacting the role of sales for tech companies or for like our clients is probably how I would phrase that.
One of the things that I anticipate, though I could be wrong, is more wearables that you can communicate through more easily. So the Apple Watch is great, and there's other wearables out there as well, but I'd like to see those interfaces work a little better, and I'd like to see those interfaces work a little better to be able to mirror the apps that one has on one's mobile device. I would love to see a day where you could really take your office calls effectively on your Apple Watch. We're really close to that with hosted voice and its interaction with mobile devices, but the device manufacturers themselves of these wearables have to get a little better with how they interact with the apps on the mobile phones right now in order to catch up. And I see other smaller wearables coming into play. Perhaps instead of a phone, you're wearing glasses and that have an inclusive microphone and earpiece in them. I know that there have been some of those that have come out, but if they can build that technology into a standard pair of glasses and give you a heads-up display where you can and then interact perhaps with a wearable on your wrist, that's really where I see things going. I know that Elon Musk is also working on the potential of implantables. I do like science fiction. I actually think that's probably coming sooner than we'd hope.
Oh, I've seen some videos about people are testing on themselves, not legally, but implanting things already. But what you were saying about glasses actually brings me to another question. What happens when these wearables get really great and I need a break for 5 minutes from work? How do you think that plays out? If I'm so reachable, maybe I don't want to be.
Even today, your devices turn off. You have the ability to go silent and put yourself in do not disturb. I don't think that's ever going to go away. I know when I'm taking a break, I often take my glasses off. If I'm taking a nap, I put my device away and I take my watch off on a Saturday afternoon. I see where you're going, especially with implantables. That could most certainly be a potential problem, and I'm sure something that the people developing those technologies are grappling with. If it's always part of you, how do you turn it off and override the potential context? But
we've all seen Repo Man.
Yes, and it's really scary what's out there. But we're very adaptable as humans, and we've been pretty good so far at adapting to the technology as fast as we've been able to come up with it. I'm hoping we can keep doing that.
Yeah, I really like on the iPhones how they have the different personal focuses you can set.
Absolutely.
So, like, I can get notifications from some of my apps that I want and then not and turn off work whenever I want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Okay, so here's a really important question.
Okay.
It's about advice to aspiring tech or tech-related professionals. What advice would you give to young professionals, especially women, who are looking to start a career in the tech industry?
Don't be intimidated by the fact that you might be one of few women there. And don't take any, crap. Can I say that?
I'm putting this on YouTube, and as I'm not trying to monetize it, so you can say whatever you want.
All right. Don't take any shit from your male team members. But that's the same advice that I would give to any young woman entering the workplace. I experienced a lot of harassment in the restaurant industry.
Right, that's another one.
Yeah. Just hold your own, and don't be afraid to use your lips back if sassed. And human resources is there for a reason. If you can't shut it up on your own and you don't feel like you're getting backup, that's what human resources is for. It's true for any industry, but especially true in male-dominated ones. I've been really lucky that, for the most part, I've worked at very supportive places, and very few times I've had to bring complaints that were dealt with very swiftly. Also, know your worth. Ask for more than you think you're going to get when you go apply for a job. Look at the comps. And also, don't be afraid to discuss compensation with your coworkers. Employers want to shut down those conversations about how you're being compensated. It's a little different for me. I'm a commissioned salesperson, so I get paid based on what I produce. But if I were going for, God forbid something happened and I had to change jobs and I was going for a salaried position, I would ask high and also negotiate. Negotiate everything. Don't take the first package put in front of you.
Absolutely. I always hear that. That's fantastic advice, because people will say, oh, they didn't negotiate, they didn't ask for more, that's why I'm paying that woman less. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. So don't be that way. These are things that parents teach sons, that men teach each other, right? When they get together and they're having that bro time. So as women in business, we have to prop each other up. And I love working with other women in business and helping to support each other.
Yeah.
Oh, and join councils of women in your industry. They're out there. There are so many of them. And in related industries, I network with women in building and other women in technology. So find those networks out there that are female-centric. Your sisters are out there to support you.
Awesome. I love it. All right. And then here's the last one that I have. How do you keep learning and growing professionally in an industry that is constantly evolving?
I read a lot. I do a lot of continuing education, both formal and informal, and do my best to keep up with trends just by reading the emails that the various manufacturers that I work with and service providers that I work with send. I am constantly receiving an updated education about the state of the industry. And plus, I also have my personal news so I can keep an eye on different cybersecurity concerns that might be happening locally and nationally, and any breaches with various manufacturers or large organizations that we might need to be aware of, and just to keep my finger on the pulse. So subscribe to those tech news feeds. You don't always need to dig deep into the article to get an understanding about what they're talking about. Headlines in the first couple paragraphs often get you enough information to stay informed. And then, of course, if you're interested, you can do a much deeper read into any of those topics.
Right. Yeah. There's a couple of like tech update podcasts that are like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. And they'll just read you the headlines. But sometimes I'll listen to that like while I'm getting ready in the morning or whatever, and this will give me enough that I know what's going on, and then I can pick one of those stories if I want to dive deeper into them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then we also have our own internal training program at Big Water that I get emails once a week on different tech topics. And so it's a program that we offer to our clients as well. It sends me a little video that teaches me about an emerging cybersecurity threat or some other sort of network possible threat, cyber awareness, and then there's a little quiz at the end. It's super quick, and it definitely keeps me on top of stuff, and it is very topical. Those trainings, if there was something in the news a week or the week before, chances are that's what the training is going to focus on that week.
That is great. I was actually just talking to a lady that works for that company, and she was telling me how frequently they update those trainings, and I was very impressed.
They did pig butchering this week right after John Oliver did a thing on pig butchering. I think that was 12 days ago, right? It was a week ago.
And you
Sunday.
Saw that I did pig butchering too on one of our posts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very catchy name, right? And it's been happening more and more, and especially in post-pandemic times where a lot of people are still feeling a lot of social isolation that they maybe haven't remerged fully into society. And I mean, we're in the middle of winter too, so that doesn't help here in the Northern Hemisphere as far as hibernation tendencies, that a little bit of kindness from a stranger you met online sometimes is all it takes to get you to open way up, way more than you should have.
Oh, yeah. That one, when I saw that, and then the fact that the people on the other end of it are like potentially kidnapped as well, it's sad all around.
Yeah, that was the real eye-opener for me. I knew those scams existed, that they were out there, but until I saw John Oliver's piece, I didn't realize that those were actually slaves, primarily, that these were trafficked humans that are being forced to sit behind a computer terminal and send out these phishing scams. That was very eye-opening for me. You think a lot about human trafficking, and you're generally thinking about trafficking of bodies for sex and that kind of thing, or sometimes you think about slave labor on farms and that kind of thing. But I never pictured human traffickers using bodies as coders.
Right.
I always thought that was something that someone did because that was what they wanted to do, or that's how they thought they would be able to scam someone out of money. Didn't realize
especially such a long-term con like that, like these are. Like, that just seems like, how can you hold up that facade for so long while they have to, or else they have to.
Yeah, they do have to. The consequences are dire if they don't. Yeah, that was really wild to learn that side of the story.
Absolutely. So those are all of my questions. I just want to give you an opportunity to add anything that you want to say.
No, as far as focusing on women and technology, I'll just reiterate that don't forget about the arts. As you're getting your curricula together, as you're thinking about courses of study, I do think that four-year college is still incredibly important, both for educational development and social development. But if you're interested in tech and aren't feeling like a four-year college, go to a school designed to get you into a tech career. Absolutely. Secondary education, whether it's a trade school or actual college, I think is incredibly important. There's more out there to know that than you can learn as a high school graduate before you go out into the world. So I strongly encourage additional education.
Absolutely. What about if somebody is wanting to get into tech later in life?
Oh, go for it. It's never too late to learn. You can start a new career at any time, and the tech industry needs all kinds of people. There's a lot of end users out there that aren't young people that would feel a lot more comfortable communicating with someone of their own generation. So I'd say go for it. Change that career, get involved, and there's a lot of opportunity, obviously, in technology, but being able to communicate the level of someone of your own generation, they're still out there buying tech, and the older they are, the more help they need, generally, to figure out what the right solutions are for them, and then to get familiarized with the user experience of that technology.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of training programs online that are either free or that there are subsidies for, and you can do a quick training program in a couple of weeks or in a day, and then parlay whatever previous experience you have into this, because with what we do as an MSP, our clients are from a bunch of different industries, and we have to understand their industry a little bit to be able to best serve them. I just spoke to a woman who had been a nurse, an RN for more than 10 years, and then she got into the tech industry. And she really understands the systems that they use from the user side, right? So she understands all of the problems that they run into, and she parlayed that into a healthcare tech support role.
There you go. There you go. So there's so many ways to be involved in technology. It's more than you think. I'm always amazed at hearing the very specialized careers that are out there that are technology-based. I learned something. This person isn't a client, but someone who's in my networking group. They have a business based on all they do is electronically process the paperwork that realtors need to close home sales. That's their business. They take the paperwork processing part out of the hands of the realtor. It's all done electronically. There's checklists. They're the ones sending the emails. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. We need that form scanned, etc. I didn't know that was a business, but that's very cool.
And I bet they used to work in real estate.
Yeah, exactly. And that is a technology job. If your job is to send out electronic forms and file those forms electronically, that's a job in technology too. Even though you're not directly involved with the creation of new technological advances, doesn't mean that you're not in a technology-related field.
I think my takeaway from what you're saying here, and I love it, is the tech field is bigger than you think it is. And
absolutely.
Welcome. Please join.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to see more women in technology. It's needed. We're more than half the population. We're a good percentage of the business owners. We're more college educated than our male counterparts. We should be equally represented and equally paid in all fields.
Absolutely. I agree. It has been great talking to you. I've got to get off of the phone here, but I will get this edited and posted, and thank you so much for talking with me.
My pleasure.
Wow. What a fascinating and insightful conversation with Jennifer Shubow. Her journey from culinary arts to tech sales at Big Water Tech is nothing short of inspiring. It's clear that Jennifer embodies the spirit of innovation and resilience that we celebrate, especially on International Women's Day, but also every day. This interview highlights a crucial message. The tech industry is not just for specific groups of people. It's a vibrant, dynamic field open to everyone, regardless of their background or age. Jennifer's story beautifully illustrates how diverse experiences, like her background in the culinary world, enrich the tech industry, bringing unique perspectives and creative solutions. So, to all the women and girls listening, whether you're a student, a professional in a different field, or someone considering a career change, remember that your unique skills, your art, your creativity, and your perspectives are invaluable. The barriers are breaking down, and there's a place for you in this industry. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing your experiences and insights with us. Your journey is a powerful reminder of the incredible potential that lies in diversity and the importance of embracing our individual strengths. Let's keep this conversation going, encouraging more women to step into tech roles and continue supporting each other in this journey. Here's to more women in tech making a difference and shaping the future. Thank you all for joining us in this empowering conversation, and remember, at Big Water Tech, we believe in the power of technology and the incredible potential of every individual who joins this ever-evolving field.